This is
Chat the Great. Antifragile kind of had that indie label feel, of course, and it kind of connected the artists a little bit better. So is there kind of like more artist and label connection with an indie label? Like, is there a bit more of that, closeness?
Yeah, I think by definition there is, because, well, there's less personnel, there's less hierarchy, there's less sort of red tape. And so you're dealing, directly with a few people or a small staff. And I think it's a much more personal thing. And I think if you look at musical history, there have been a lot of great things that have happened at major labels, but it's really the independent label system that has developed a lot of the great and important artists of all time. Most of them have started in some way, shape, or form at independent companies.
And just any difference between small labels today and small labels when you start 20 years, 30 years ago? What's the main difference?
Well, it's definitely easier to start a label today because you don't need to have quite as much money because there isn't that manufacturing cost of physical units, which was the only way to sell and make money back then, doesn't exist anymore. We do, as you know, physical records with some artists, but not with all of them. And that being said, physical is a very small percentage of our revenue in the business. So it's definitely, there's a lower barrier of entry for young labels to start out. However, it's much harder, much more difficult, I think, to be successful because of that lower barrier of entry. There's so many small labels and independent artists all trying to succeed, and there's so much stuff coming out every day that it's gotten much more difficult to really emerge from all the other stuff that's out there.